What is up, everybody? I'm back with another video. This time we're doing a call breakdown. I'm going to be breaking down a call that I did. This is the first time I've heard of it. It's a seller that doesn't have a whole lot of motivation. She's got a condo that has been rented out in the past. It's now vacant. She's playing with the notion of selling it. She's a realtor herself, so she would list it herself. She pretty wants top of the market for it. It's in a nice area. It's a nice condo. It's fixed up, according to the seller. So I realized like cash isn't going to work for this lady. This is, I believe, the third call that I've had with her at this point. So I'm not sure actually what I do in the call because this is the first time I'm hearing it since having it. But I'm pretty sure I pitch the cash kind of option. Say, hey, look, this is where we'd be at cash. Let her know like cash isn't going to probably work, and then I pivot to terms. Let's see how I did. I'm looking forward to your critiques, to what your thoughts are, and let me know.
I guess it was loud. I had my headset on.
Very loud.
Hello. Hey.
Hello?
Hey, Claudia, it's Nathaniel. I'm calling about that property, that condo you have in Orlando. We spoke yesterday about
Yes,
it. Did
yes,
that, did,
that's all.
yeah, did I catch you at a bad time right now?
No, I'm at work, but I can multitask.
Okay, you're good at that. So beautiful here. I jumped right into it, introduced myself, tell her why I'm calling, upfront contract. Why am I calling? And then, hey, did I catch you at a bad time? Give them the opportunity to say, yes, you did. Okay, when's a better time? I just want to talk about this property. Are you still interested in selling it? She says no. She's giving me her permission to start talking to her. So I looked at the property this morning, and it is something that I'd be interested in, but I'm afraid that the number that I need to be at is not something that you're going to even entertain. And I'm afraid you're just going to hang up on me.
Okay, no problem. Don't worry about it. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm wondering if we might be able to work something out creatively though that would kind of be a win-win for each of us. I would have some questions on it, but I don't want to waste your time if it's not something that you'd even be interested in.
But what do you mean by that?
Well, if I was able to come in and take over paying on your mortgage, and then maybe make a down payment to you towards the equity that you have in the home and make some payments over time, as long as I can cash flow on the property, it would be something I'd be interested in still. And I could get closer to the number that you're looking at.
The 275, 295?
Yeah.
Okay, so say that again. How would you do that?
So interesting here, I didn't actually give her a number cash-wise. I'm not a big fan of that. I would have probably preferred to anchor really low cash-wise. Um, promise, hey, I like what I did there with I'm afraid, this number's really low. I already knew she wanted to be 275, 295, somewhere in that area. So, man, this number's really low. I'm nervous to tell you this. It's not even close to where you want to be at, where you had mentioned you want to be at. And then you promise not to hang up on me, Claudia, because I do have some other options. Let's see how the rest of this goes here. Well, it would depend on how much your mortgage is to start, but what we'd do is we'd come in and take over paying on your mortgage. So basically, I would make a down payment to you for you to allow me to take over your mortgage payments.
Okay.
And then I would make payments to you over time towards the equity that you have in the home. So you'd be no longer be a landlord on the property, you would be a lender.
Okay. And the price that we're going to agree on as the purchase price total besides the mortgage is how much? How much you're going to pay me on it?
It depends on what you want on a month. It depends on what you want as a monthly payment. If you allowed me to pay you $100 a month, I'd pay $1 million for this house. If you let me pay $100 a month for the next 10,000 months.
Right, but that's not something that is logical.
Right. It's
So how
just
much are you going to be paying?
well, if you want 300,000 for this house and I can make monthly payments to you that allow me to cash flow on the property, I'd be more than happy to pay you 300 for it. And again, I use the word house, condo, but I think you get
Right, right.
the point.
Okay. So, um,
Let me ask you, Claudia, what's your monthly mortgage payment on this? I wouldn't normally interrupt her, but I could tell she's thinking about some stuff, so let me try to take control of the conversation again.
I believe without taxes and insurance, I believe it's about 700.
Okay, what about
Then you have
including?
taxes and insurance.
Yeah, what's it with the TI?
Taxes, I believe I pay about 3,000. I believe I just do the yearly payment, and then insurance is about the same, or maybe 2,000. I think. No,
Yeah, that's fine.
actually, no, insurance is less. On that property, I believe it's about 1,600.
Okay, so you're just paying principal and interest through the mortgage company.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So you had it rented out at 1800. Were you managing this property yourself?
Correct.
Okay. So you were cash flowing, 5 to 800 bucks a month, something like that, when you said after.
No, because remember you have maintenance fee. The maintenance.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So I made some assumptions and allowed her to correct me. So now she's gonna back into the cash flow number.
Fee is
Oh, right, right, right.
for.
Yeah, I was looking at the 700 here and not thinking about the extra 450 that you have in the TI. So
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, so you're making like maybe just a couple $100 a month.
Right.
Okay, yeah, better there would have been, so what do you, instead of saying it to her, let her tell me the number. So what do you typically bringing in after you're setting aside all these things? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what if I was able to give you that same couple $100 a month, but you don't have to worry about, putting a tenant in there, worrying about any maintenance issues, anything like that. And you were just able to purely have passive cash flow on this thing. Don't say anything
And you
else.
guys will take care of all the insurance and taxes and mortgage.
Yep, we'd be the new owners of the property, so the property tax would fall on us, the insurance would be falling on us. What we do in this situation is we add you as an additional insured just because you're a lien holder on the property. So if anything were to happen, like a catastrophic event and the property, gets torn down and they are going to make a full payout on the property, you'd be the second person to get paid out. The original mortgage would get paid, then you get paid, and then if there was anything left over, we'd get paid. Okay, over explaining there. Just say yes, we're going to have insurance on the property. Would have been much better. One saved me 15 seconds, and now she doesn't have any other questions and thoughts like, hey, the mortgage company is going to get paid before me, blah, blah, blah.
And now the mortgage will still be under my name, correct?
Correct. The mortgage would stay in your name, and we intend to keep it there for as long as the mortgage is in place for.
What happens if you guys don't make the payment?
If we don't make the payments, you take what we call as a deed in lieu of foreclosure back to the closing company that we closed at, and you get the title back to the house. So you keep any down payment we made to you, you keep any payments that we've made over time, and you get property back.
Okay. And how much down payment would you do?
Typically, we're doing like $5,000 to $10,000 as a down payment. Obviously, the lower for us, the better. The smaller entry fee that we have into the property, but it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think that's gonna work only because last 2 years ago, I had to put about 45,000 to refinance and remove someone else's name from the deed. So,
Okay.
yeah, 5 to 10,000 will not actually do for me.
Okay. What would you think would be a better number?
At least the 40,000 that I put, 45, because I did put the 45
Okay.
to remove his name from the deed and all that. I paid him off his part basically.
What if we were to what if you were to leave some money in the deal and consider yourself as having bought the note on the house? So let's just say let's say we split the difference and we paid you 20 and you had 25,000 left in the house, right? And you were making $2,400 a year, no headache, just passive income. You would be looking at, oh man, you'd be looking at almost 10% cash on cash return. Now, typically that's not a good idea, is to start talking numbers like that. But when we're talking with another investor, I don't mind this here. She's an investor, and let's just start talking some numbers here, right? You're going to leave your money in the bank, or you're going to make a return on it. Does that make sense?
Could you send me an email with all this, and then I can read it better tonight when I get home?
What is it that you would like in the email?
Exactly what you just told me, and then I have to do some math, talking about the annual income and how much you will be making,
Okay.
monthly payments, and then exactly how you guys are going to do this. I mean, you're going to get the mortgage under your name, but my name will still be there. That's what you said, right?
Correct. Your name stays on the mortgage. The title and everything else transfers to my company's LLC.
Right.
So we become the owners of the property, and you
And the
and
lender.
correct, exactly.
Okay. Send me that information if you could email it to me, and I'll review everything, do the numbers tonight, and then I can call you back. I don't know if you're available tomorrow or if not Monday.
Yeah, I usually work on Saturdays. So depending on what time, I would say just shoot me a text and, we can put something on the calendar.
Okay.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you an email just kind of breaking down what we talked about.
Right.
There won't be any specific numbers in there because we're just talking theoretical at this point. What I would say for you to do is, if it's something that you're interested in, if you think that it would work for you, is come up with the numbers that would make it make sense for you, right? If you're looking for a specific cash on cash return, let's figure out what gets you to that number.
Okay.
Yeah, and then because really you're the lender on this, Claudia. I don't walk into Chase, bank and go, hey, these are the terms. I want to buy this house. These are my terms. They have packages put together, so it's really up to you. What the package you're going to allow us to work with is. So, you might come back and say you want 100,000 down towards a down payment, and that might not work for us. So it doesn't always. It's not always going to be a win-win, but at least we get a starting point. I would much rather start at your pie in the sky idea, your number, and see if we can work to that, or at least get close.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
Because you guys are taking over the mortgage, how at the end am I going to get the full amount that is owed to me?
You're getting the equity. So let's just say, so you told me you have 250 here. 150 as the kind of mortgage balance, just roundabout. For this example, let's just say that we were going to buy the house for 200, just for ease of numbers purposes. Yeah. I always typically I like to use extremely small numbers. Like, I'm going to buy your house for $100. Remember, this is just an example because I don't want them to be thinking. So see what I did here was I took 200. I don't want them to be thinking that they're going to get 300, 350, whatever the big number that they're thinking. I want to work with small numbers. So I go, just for this example, let's imagine that I'm going to buy the house for $100. They're easier numbers to think about anyway. We're going to be paying you the 50,000. Okay, so it doesn't matter what happens with the mortgage. You're going to get paid on your 50,000. If that takes us, right, if you were to give us 500 months and pay you $100 a month, it would you'd end up making your 50,000 that way.
Right. But at the end of the day, that mortgage has to be paid off. Who's paying that mortgage at the end?
We're paying it. We're gonna pay it until it's paid off. Oh man.
Right. So at the end, that mortgage will be paid off, but we don't know when.
Well, how much how much longer is left on the mortgage?
There should be, I think it's 36 years, so it has to be 32?
32 years left?
I think so, because I refinanced it in 2021, I believe it was.
Okay. So,
At the end of 2021.
we always tell people that we're going to leave the mortgage in place for the duration of the loan. So if there's 32 years left, we plan on keeping that mortgage in your name for 32 years. That being said, that's not necessarily always the case. Typically, we're selling the house at between the 7 and 10 year mark, just because the house is appreciated. We've used up the depreciation we can use up on the house, those types of things, and it just makes more sense for us to cash out the house and move the money into something else. So at that time, the mortgage would get paid down, but we always plan on keeping it as long as the term of the loan is. So to answer your question go back a minute, like the mortgage would get paid off in 32 years.
Right. Got it. Okay. Send me that email and I'll look at it tonight. And then tomorrow I'll text you before I call you.
Sounds good, Claudia. I guess what, is there a time, I can just put it in my calendar right now, like what time would be best for you?
To be honest with you, no, because tomorrow I'm working. Okay. And I have to do a couple of things. I'm having a surgery next week, so I'm trying to finish everything.
I thought you said you could multitask, Claudia.
Say that again?
I thought you said you could multitask.
Definitely. Yes, I could. Okay, well, send me that email and I'll look at it tonight.
Sounds good. I'll talk soon.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think that was pretty good. I would love to hear your feedback here. I think I need to work on that post, like that end of the call thing here, lining up a legit appointment. She said she's working Saturday, but she has surgery going on next week. As a matter of fact, I ended up talking to her the following day, or I think it was the following Monday, and she's gone the whole rest of the week. So I have a follow-up with her coming up to rediscuss this. Let me know how I did, what you think, where I can improve, what I did well. Yeah.
Hey, so that was it. I mean, that was a call breakdown. I know it was about 15 minutes of actual call. We'll see how long the video ends up in total. But I would appreciate your comments below. Let me know what you think I did well, what you think I did poorly, what I could do better. Leave a like on the video. If you're not subscribed already, I'd love for you to subscribe to me. I'm going to do stuff like this as well in the future. We're just getting started here, so come along for the ride.